And then suddenly, they got a whole lot of reason to buy a whole bunch of stuff, right? Government has to spend a dime. Government utility companies, now they're going to be very interested in energy efficiency products, renewables, etc. Number one. But you say to yourself, well, how are they going to pay for all this sort of stuff? They're going to turn around and soak the consumer? Well, there may be some price penalties there, but the one thing we can do to make it easier is to have aggressive loan guarantees to help our utility companies transition. With loan guarantees, you put $1 of public capital on the table, and you get $10 of private capital, which is what you want to do anyway. And so, even outside of this concept of how you're going to have a cap and a market-based solution on carbon, you can still push down on the bad stuff, and you can still deploy all the clean energy technology. Number two. Number three, fight like the Dickens in California to defeat Prop 23.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That is the single biggest and most important fight in the world right here in your state. Prop 23, if you don't know, is an attempt by Texas oil guys. Now get this. This is not crack you up. This is what these Texas oil guys would have you believe. They woke up one morning in Houston and thought to themselves, what are we going to do about the poor people in California? They don't have any jobs. They don't have any jobs. I know. Let's spend $20 million to put a ballot measure there to help them get jobs in California. Did that strike you as somewhat odd? Did that strike you as weird? Did you have a ballot measure in California, Prop 23, that's supposedly about trying to make sure you have jobs in California, but it's all paid for by Texas oil money? Could it be? This is just Texas oil guys trying to knock out Silicon Valley as a competitor for the energy future? Doesn't that strike you as a little bit more likely that if Texas oil guys spend $20 million to knock out global warming legislation in your state, it probably has more to do with them knocking out their competition in Silicon Valley and helping you get a job? Okay? So Prop 23, which would knock out the best global warming legislation in the world, which we have here in California, which is attracting 1 out of 4 clean tech venture dollars in the world here, has 500,000 people working, soon to be 1 million. The only job-creating machine you've got in California, Texas is trying to take a baseball bat to. If they win here, they're going to do it all across the country. If you beat them here, we have a shot. So I would say, defend EPA's right to regulate the stuff directly. If they don't want a market-based solution, give them a regulatory solution. 2, be smart on the financing and demand creation. And 3, win here in California. Now, if you do that, I'll be proud of you, but not as proud as I will be if you do one more thing. It's not good enough for you to build a green economy if it's a green economy that essentially benefits the same people that the great economy benefits. It's just not good enough. That's your challenge. I'm giving you a bunch of problems, but they're your problems. See, you've got to build a green economy that Dr. King would be proud of. You've got to build a green economy that includes everyone. You've got to build a green economy. If you really want to pull America together, you've got to build a green economy that has a different principle than the last round of environmental thinking. See, I don't understand how you can be a part of the environmental movement that is passionate about saying we don't have any throwaway materials. We don't have any throwaway resources. I want to throw away an aluminum can because that aluminum can has a future that's more important than its past. I'm passionate about rescuing thrown away dead materials. But I'm indifferent to throwing away children and thrown away neighborhoods. I'm indifferent to people who are being thrown away in prison. I can imagine, I have more moral imagination for a thrown away aluminum can than I do for a man behind bars or a woman behind bars. There's something wrong with an environmental movement that thinks that way. I would argue that it's all precious, it's all sacred, and in the future, for all of us, and for all the stuff around here is more important than the past. We have to have a moral imagination that says we're going to build a green wave that lifts all boats. And so that green economy needs to be able to help the folks in Appalachia who right now have to dig those holes to have jobs putting up the wind turbines rather than blowing up their grandmother's mountains. See, that green economy has to be able to give people coming home from prison the opportunity to put down the handguns and pick up some caulking guns and be a part of retrofitting their neighborhoods and putting solar panels on poor folks' houses, not just rich folks who can afford it. So that instead of poor folks writing checks to energy companies, the energy companies can write them some checks and let them be a part of the solution. See, now that is the kind of economic and environmental and moral vision that I believe can get us past all the red states and blue states. And I believe that if your generation is bold enough to break out and say, look, we're serious. We're the most diverse generation of Americans. We're the most technologically connected generation of Americans. We have the most on the line. We're bigger than the baby boomers. We got the whole planet, the future, the children of all species in our hands. And we refuse to accept piecemeal solutions and puny politics. We want real answers. We're willing to fight. We're willing to stand together. And we're not going to be divided as a generation of last century's old silly nonsense. Yeah, I believe if you do that, you will be able to put America back to work. You will be able to pull America back together. You'll be able to show that a rainbow country with every kind of color in it can work together and solve real problems, and show a rainbow planet how to do it, and let America lead that way, not by military force, but by moral example, and build a green economy that Dr. King will be proud of. Thank you very much.